This next song is called Different Eyes, and it's written about my dad and I. My dad and I always had a really rough relationship when I was a teenager and when I was really young, and I never felt like I had a dad that spent enough time with me, and I always saw all the bad stuff in my dad, and I never really gave him a lot of credit, and you know, for a lot of good reasons, I guess. But I held on to that afterwards when I moved out and I was living on my own and I was an adult, and my brothers and I didn't really spend a lot of time talking to my dad. I didn't call my dad for like 2 years. I didn't even talk to him. Didn't even know like what apartment or what address he was living at or anything. And then in 1998, I had a son. His name is Andrew. He's sitting right over there on his mommy's lap. And it was unbelievable how much that meant to me that I had a son. And that's kind of when it dawned on me that that must hurt him so much that his kids don't talk to him. So I kind of tried to start, like, I thought to myself, he's got to know his grandfather, so let's go up and visit. So we started visiting my dad, and I had seen him like every once in a while, but I really tried to make an effort to see him and start to see beyond all that stuff I had built up. And I had built a wall that I didn't even want to look over. And when I had my son, it really made me realize that, all that stuff is in the past, and my dad hurts so much because his kids don't want to talk to him, and they don't even know like where he is. So I don't know. I thought about that a lot, and then I went up. There was a year I went to see my dad. It was about a week after Father's Day, and I told my brother and I were like, we got to see Dad because it's Father's Day, and I talked my brother into going with me, and we saw him. We surprised him, and he was he was so happy to see us, and he told us how proud he was of us, and that was the last time I saw my dad. He died about a month and a half later, and I was so grateful that I decided to realize that everybody looks at life from a different point of view, and even though we may not all be Christian, we may not all be Americans, we may not all be from the same culture, but we can still love each other, and we've got to try and look past some of that stuff and say, you know what? We can still be friends even if we see things through different eyes. And that was the idea behind this song. I wrote it a little while after my dad died, but it really means a lot to me, this song, and I really hope that you listen and get something from it.
Broken past, always filled with so much broken glass. Dreams of how you wanted life to be. Dreams were always just out of your reach. Wife and child taken from your life so tragically, a second chance. Love and then a son and then came me. Time went by, never understood, you never tried. Distance grew between you and I. Time came, we both had to go our separate ways. Anger and resentment deep inside. I just put my head down and I cried. We both see the world through different eyes. You had your way, I had mine. differences remain. In the end we found a way, and I'm so glad we had the time. Now I see you and me weren't much different deep inside. You and me had to be true to what we knew a man to be. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, in the end, we learned to put our differences aside, and I began to know you as a friend. Now I wish it never had to end. Now I wish it never had to end. We all see the world through different eyes. You had your way, I had mine. Though our differences remain, in the end we found a way. And I'm so glad we had the time.